Hello, everyone, and welcome to our program titled AWS Members Save with Total Energy Solutions and Procurement. My name is Carrie Shepard, Marketing Analytics Manager for APPI Energy, and I'll be your moderator for today's webcast. Please note that all participant lines are muted. Please submit questions anytime during the session by using the Q&A box on the bottom of your screen. Simply type your question and click Send next to the box. Our presenter today is Jane Seagraves-Sidebottom, Vice President, Marketing and Business Development with APPI Energy. Welcome, Jane.
Great. Thank you so much, Carrie. I certainly appreciate that introduction, and I certainly appreciate all the AWS members that are in attendance today. Just to begin our program today, I wanted to review the agenda that we'll be talking about today. The first is going to be the member benefits, and then we'll talk a little bit about electricity and natural gas procurement, followed by energy solutions. And that is a relatively new division that we have launched here at APPI Energy that works with the members and helps them to reduce the amount of electricity or natural gas that they use, thus bringing down your bill in its entirety, as well as for a long-term solution for you. So a little bit about the member benefits and what it is that APPI Energy does for AWS members. We are energy consultants, and we work primarily in procurement. So we are there to help negotiate on the members' behalf so that we can get you a better price for the energy that you use. We'll talk with you a little bit about really what your unique needs are, what your timing is, maybe you're currently in a contract, and what are your overall procurement policies for your organization. We'll provide you with access to approximately 36 vetted and approved suppliers in the energy deregulated markets. I will tell you that there are hundreds of suppliers in the United States. However, we choose to only work with about 36 of them. I can't say that we've vetted all 100, 300 as it may be, but we've looked at well over 100 of them and only choose to work with about 36 because the others just do not meet our strict standards, which is a great member benefit in and of itself for you. There's no upfront cost or obligation to use our consulting services. And what we'll do is we'll make recommendations on when to buy energy. Really, what is the best contract term? What's the best contract length for you and your organization? And it really is dependent on what market you're in and what we're seeing happening in that particular market. We do have a proprietary database that we use. We get pricing in from all of our suppliers for any particular utility. So we can really drill down information not only to the state specifically, but also drill that down to your particular utility. You'll see today the examples that I use in this webinar include Illinois. However, I could look at Pennsylvania and a particular utility in Pennsylvania if you're located there, or Ohio or Texas. So it just depends on really where you're located. We can provide you those same data analytics. It is a very simple process to use us as your energy consultants. With regard to energy procurement, all we need from you is a copy of your most recent bill, and we have you sign a letter of authorization. And that enables us to go to your utility and get your usage for the last year. And with that information, we'll be able to structure an RFP and submit that out to all of those vetted suppliers in your particular utility. And if you have multiple locations and multiple utilities, multiple states, we can help you with that as well. That's one of our, I guess really one of our feathers in our caps. We certainly do that every day for maybe it's banks or maybe it's welding that has multiple locations throughout the United States. So again, let us help you with all of your locations. And we advocate only for you and never the suppliers or the utility. So we work on your behalf. We don't work for any particular supplier. We don't work for any particular utility. We work for you and get you a better price. We make the suppliers really compete for your business. And you'll see that in a few slides as I progress through this deck. And to talk a little bit about where we work, because that is really important. Of course, well, you may know or may not know, but the United States is deregulated. However, it is a state-by-state decision as to whether or not they will allow competition for electricity or for natural gas or for both. And you can see here on this slide that really the primary states that we work would include those green states. So those states are deregulated for both electricity and natural gas and are also competitive for both electricity and natural gas. You can see the blue states that are just competitive for natural gas, and we do a lot of work in those states as well. Just depends on what your profile is, whether or not you are a large consumer of natural gas in your operation, or if it's just a heat load. So there's different qualifications that we would look at to determine whether or not you're a good candidate for natural gas procurement and as well as electricity procurement. And I don't know why. Okay, sorry about that. So in looking at the markets, of course, this is something we're in the electricity markets all day long, every day, both the electricity and the natural gas markets. And in looking at the markets, you can see really the volatility that we are experiencing every day in the markets. What we saw in 2014 was the polar vortex. That was the highest ever recorded electricity prices in the United States. We saw something similar to that in 15, 16, and then again in 18. Now, most recently, we've had tremendous weather, I guess, volatility, if you will, in the Midwest territory. And we did not see a huge spike in the markets across the United States. There was certainly a spike in the markets in the Midwest. However, across the United States, we did not see that take an extreme toll on the electricity or the natural gas markets. And speaking of natural gas markets, this is the natural gas market that we have seen, and we've experienced some volatility here as well. You can see back this winter, we did see an increase in natural gas prices, and as quickly as it went up, it came right back down. Now, an interesting point to this is that the electricity markets really follow the natural gas markets. The other thing to keep in mind is with the natural gas markets, you don't see the huge spikes or real sharp spikes, because with natural gas, we can store that. And of course, electricity, we can't yet, at least not in large quantities anyway. Let's just say that. And then in looking at our database, again, I chose Illinois as an example here. And I can take this all the way down to Illinois and to Ameren or ComEd, or again, if I wanted to go into Maryland and look at BG&E or Delmarva Power, whatever the case may be, I can drill this all the way down to that utility level. And what I wanted to share with you here is the spread of the different pricing that we see in the market on any given day. So this happens to be Illinois. It's for week ending 2/15 of 19. It's pricing that we're getting in for a contract that would start in April of 2019. And what we're seeing here is we're seeing a spread, I would say probably about a half a penny, if not maybe a little bit more than that, which is a significant amount of money that you could be leaving on the table. I tell clients all the time and members all the time, you can do this yourself, and that's fine. But you might only be talking to the suppliers that are coming in at the high end of this chart, those that have the pricing that's substantially higher than the lower end. And keep in mind too, that there are some suppliers that only price through brokers, which is us. They do not price directly with members such as yourself. So you've automatically eliminated some suppliers that are good suppliers. We know them, like them, and trust them. So you've automatically eliminated some of them if you don't use a broker. And so that's something else to keep in mind as you're going forward. And also keep in mind that we do this all day long. And if you are negotiating your own energy procurement supply contracts, chances are you're only doing that once every 2 to 3 years. So when you come back into the market after 3 years, the market is vastly different and the players in the market are vastly different. So it's something, again, to keep in mind, and keep in mind there's no upfront cost to you to use our services. And then this next slide really shows you where the rubber meets the road. And this is what we present to you. And again, this looks like this was done February the 6th, 2019 for a contract that's going to start March of 2020. So we are in front of this contract about 13 months ahead of time, which is perfect. That's really where we want to be. We don't want to be in the market for you just a month before your contract is going to expire, because that really doesn't give you enough time. We want to certainly give you the time that you need to make an informed business decision. And so we'll go out and get pricing for you, begin the process, and you may say, okay, I don't want to negotiate a contract yet for another 3 months or 4 months or whatever the case may be. That's really up to you, and we'll work with you regarding that. So again, you can see the price differences that are in the market, and we will go back whenever you're more comfortable to negotiate a full contract on your behalf. What we would typically do from this point is then narrow our search down to maybe say the top 3 or the bottom 3 suppliers that came in with the best prices. And then at that point, we would go back to them and renegotiate or continue to negotiate. They'll know that they really need to sharpen their pencil. And that's what we'll come back to you with some final pricing for you, to, again, to make an informed business decision. So a little bit about the Energy Solutions division. We've worked with clients for many years now, and we've done many lighting retrofit projects. We've done solar fields, various different demand side services for our clients. but we've really never put formality around it, I should say. And that's something that we're doing now. And we have just launched this Energy Solutions division. We are working in a test phase right now, launching it out primarily to Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, and looking to see how we can help our clients. Many manufacturers that we're helping, we're seeing them with lighting retrofits. It's all about the burn time. So if you're a AWS member and you're open 24/7, or you're working on more than just one shift, lighting retrofits may be a great opportunity for you to be able to save even 70% off of your electricity bill, which is huge. And of course, that's very sustainable. It helps you to reduce your costs substantially, and you're a great steward for the environment. So it's through these programs, both electricity utility rebate information, we will work with the member to see what rebates are available in their particular utility. There could be national rebates available, there could be state rebates available, and then all the way down to the utility level. So we'll investigate all of that for you and make sure that all of those rebates are brought back to you, the member. Looking at HVAC upgrades, solar projects, as I've mentioned. We've done several of those, working primarily with some manufacturers. And then facility audits. We can also look at benchmarking your actual usage by meter in your plants, and really provide you with real-time data. And then, of course, we can look at demand response programs that you may do. Demand response programs are programs whereby you would enroll and you are paid by the independent grid system operators if you curtail your usage. So it might be the third hot day in August, and the grid system operators are really needing folks to shed their load. So they would have an event, and you've agreed to shed X% of your load to come off the grid for X amount of time, and to reduce your need of the grid by X amount. And again, that's something then that you would be paid for. It's a program that we have extensive knowledge in, and one that we can help and have helped many of our clients with that as well. And then finally, to wrap it up, I just wanted to provide you with a little bit about APPI Energy and who we are. We have been in business since 1996. I like to say we're an old company and a young industry. Of course, deregulation's been around since mid-90s or so, early 90s, and we've been involved in that since 96. We have approximately 2,100, 2,200 commercial and industrial clients throughout the United States. We have 158 affinity endorsements. Now, just like with AWS, who endorses our program, there are approximately 150, 160 other associations that also endorse our program. They include National Association of Manufacturers, some local chambers, and economic development types of organizations as well. We have over 10 billion kWh under management and 18 million decatherm of natural gas under management. We vetted and approve 36 suppliers that we work and do business with. Last year alone, I should say, our customer service department resolved almost 900 different customer service cases. That could be that the member moved, shut down one location and started another location, or expanded their current location, and we were able to help them with that. There could be tax exemption that the member might not have realized they were exempt for taxes, but in fact they really are. So we've been able to go back even as much as 3 years and get tax monies back for those members. So the customer service cases are vastly different in all many different shapes and sizes of those. But I just want you to understand that we are not about the sale and then we're gone. We are here for the long term. We want the long-term relationship as an AWS member. We want to make sure that you're getting the member benefit that you deserve and AWS wants you to have. And then we are located in Salisbury, Maryland, and approximately 42 employees work with us here. And that's really what I have, Carrie. Were we getting any questions in from anyone in the audience?
Yes, thank you, Jane. If you have questions, please continue to submit them through the webcast system. If you're having difficulty, please send your question via email to jseagraves@appenergy.com, as you see there on the screen. I do have one question for you, Jane. What if my current contract does not expire until October 2020?
Well, that's perfect, because quite frankly, we would like to be in the market for you now. If your contract is expiring in 2020, and really depending on your size, if you're a large member, we may even want to be in the market prior to that. But nonetheless, the best thing for you to do at this point would be, again, to get a copy of your bills over to us, and we can send over to you the letter of authorization. You can fill that out, and we can at least get it in the market for you now and see, kind of take the pulse of the market, see what's going on there. May not be the best time for you to enter into a new contract, but nonetheless, we can get you queued up and make sure that we are both on the same time frame as to when it is going to be the best time for you. Great question.
Great, thank you. I have one more. What if I have facilities in Texas, Ohio, and then in Arizona?
Okay, great. So with regard to the Texas and Ohio locations, chances are we can help you with both electricity procurement and natural gas. With Arizona, that's a little different of a story, but we would still like to see your bills from all of your locations, because as I mentioned, we have the Energy Solutions division. And we know that there are certain markets right now that are very hot for rebates and energy efficiency projects, and for the member to be able to get substantial rebates back. And Arizona, depending on what you're doing with your facility, may be one of those states that have tremendous rebate availability to you, the member. So even if we can't help you there with procurement, there may be other opportunities that we can do. And so we would just like to take a look and see what your needs are, and we'll go from there.
Thank you. It looks like we have no further questions at this time. Thank you to everyone for participating, and a special thank you to our presenter, Jane Seagraves-Sidebottom. This concludes today's program. You may now disconnect.
Thank you.